Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Since the release of Season 9, a knight has been terrorising the battlefields with full block, battle cries, and lots of shield bashers. But we're not here to talk about Black Prior. We're here to discuss the original shield bashing nuisance, the Conqueror. Back before Tenebris was shouted 40 or more times a game, Conqueror was upsetting people with how easy his or her shield bash was to hit, and the community started crying out for nerfs. I'm going to show you how to play as the Conqueror so the battlefield doesn't forget where the bash hate train began. This guide will assume you know the basics of For Honor combat, and you're also familiar with the terminology, such as guard breaks, parrying chains, soft feints, etc., and is aimed at new and experienced players to help learn a new character. I'll be covering the hero's moveset and optimal punishers, as well as my recommendation for some feats in 4v4 game modes. Conqueror is one of the Knight's heavy class heroes and fights with a flail and shield, and is a unique hero in the For Honor roster. But before we start with Conk's moveset, however, we need to cover something all Conqueror mains should know. Conqueror has S tier emote spam, where he or she dry humps the air screaming "Rah!". This won't help you win any fights, but I'd be remiss in not divulging such crucial information. Conqueror has only one chain to talk about, and the game doesn't really explain it well. Conscript's attrition is an infinite chain Conqueror can perform with either light or heavy attacks. The chain will continue so long as you change direction after each attack, and you can delay your light attacks from this chain pretty effectively. By holding down the heavy button, similar to the Shigoki, you can charge Conqueror's heavy attack. Conk will start to spin the flail, and after a certain point the attack is fully charged. This is demonstrated by a pink flash. There is no bonus damage for holding the charge past a certain point, and any charge attack becomes unblockable. Unlike the Fat Man though, this can only be done from neutral, and the attack will be thrown when you release the heavy attack button. You can also stop charging by pressing the feint button. You can change your guard in this stance, and even defend against attacks, but switching guard leaves you briefly vulnerable. The side charge heavies do 33 damage, and the top does 44 damage. Shield bashing, the bread and butter of Conqueror. Conqueror has a few variations on the shield bash, and they all serve their purpose. To perform the shield bash, simply press guard break during a forward or side dodge. When dashing forwards, you can bash immediately or delay the bash to catch prediction dodges. This mix-up alone gives Conqueror a strong out of stamina pressure. The side dodge bash comes out slower than the forward dash, but their purpose is to counter enemies after a successful dodge. Use this to punish other bashes or grabs, like Black Priors or Shigokis. Conqueror can also perform a shield bash after a successful light or heavy attack. The difference with this bash though, is that unlike other bashes, this one can wall splat your opponent. You can also perform a shield bash by soft feinting your heavy attacks. Do this by pressing guard break during the startup of your heavies. The top heavies are slower, but this gives you more time to delay your soft feints. This also works with the charge variants of the heavies. It's also worth noting that all variations of the bash can ledge your opponents. The last bash Conqueror has comes from out of lock. When sprinting towards an enemy, press guard break to bonk them with the shield and knock their ass to the ground. This doesn't confirm any damage, so it's mainly just a ganking or ledging tool. It should be noted, however, that all variants of the shield bash, including this one, will do 6 damage with the shield basher feat active in 4v4 game modes. Conqueror's shield isn't just for bashing though, and does its part to earn the strong defense moniker on the hero select screen. During forwards and sideways dodges, Conqueror has superior block. The shield will flash white during a dodge, and when timed correctly, it guards attacks coming from that direction when dodging. This confirms a shield bash if you block an attack during the dodge.
What? Fight you? That's not an execution.
Conqueror's heavies also have superior block during startup. If you throw your heavy attack just before the parry window, you'll block an incoming attack while simultaneously throwing out your own heavy attack. This is pretty good against opposing heavy attacks, but can be blocked if you somehow manage to superior block a light attack. This also works with the charged heavy attack variants. Conqueror's zone attack is unique in that it has an all-guard effect. While the Conk channels their inner helicopter, they'll defend against all blockable attacks. This only does 10 damage, and it hits your opponent's left guard, but it more than makes up for this with its utility and option select potential. This is also really useful in Dominion in clearing the zones with the minions in, combined with the body count and heal on block feats. At any time during the zone after at least one rotation, you can press the feint button to cancel out of the zone attack.
What do I pay you for?
Finally, All Guard. When I said Conqueror was unique to all other heroes, I mean that Conqueror cannot feint attacks. At least not normally. This will probably be the toughest adjustment to playing Conqueror. By moving your guard down on your right stick or mouse, you will enter full block stance. You will repel all incoming blockable attacks while in this stance. I say repel because even heavy attacks bounce off the shield and stagger your opponent. Every attack you repel drains your stamina, but unblockables will still connect and you can be guard broken or bashed out of the stance. You can enter full block stance by soft feinting from heavy attacks and from bashes, the latter being useful when outnumbered. The idea is you use your full block soft feint to bait your opponents into hitting your shield. When they do, you can press heavy attack to guarantee an unblockable smack with the flail upside your opponent's jaw for 30 damage. This also starts your infinite chain, and if it kills, you can get an execution from this attack. You can cancel full block by either pressing the feint button or by switching guard. You should do this if your opponent did not react at all to the all guard, as your being in full block prevents you from counter guard breaking. Let's talk punishers. On a guard break you get a side heavy for 25 damage. Top heavy's too slow and can be blocked. The shield bash will always grant a light attack for 13 damage. If you have the shield basher feat active, you can take this total to 19 damage. When parrying a heavy attack, you get a light attack for 13 damage. Alternatively, and preferably, you should do a shield bash into a light attack. This will give you additional stamina damage and do a total of 19 damage with the shield basher feat active. Parrying a light attack will give you a top heavy for 33 damage. Wall splatting your opponent will give you a top heavy attack for 33 damage. Throwing an out of stamina opponent gives you two options. You can either charge a top heavy for 44 damage, or if your guard is in side stance and you throw to the same side, you can do a side light and then an unchained top heavy for 46 damage. Not exactly a great punish, and they call Conqueror a hard hitter. When parrying an out of stamina opponent, you get two side heavies for a total of 55 damage. I know the footage on screen is in revenge, but I couldn't get the bot to actually attack me when out of stamina, so please ignore the damage values on screen. Throwing an out of stamina opponent against a wall will get you two top heavies. The total damage here is 63. If you guard break your opponent when you are out of stamina, you can get a top light attack for 13 damage. The side lights can be blocked. If you parry an opponent's light attack when you're out of stamina, you can confirm a light attack of your own for 13 damage. Direction doesn't matter this time. On revenge activation, you get a charge top heavy attack for 58 damage. For your tier 1 feat selection, speed revive is optimal for breach, and body count being optimal in my opinion, at least for Dominion, especially since Conqueror has such good minion control. Shield Basher is necessary as Conqueror's tier 2 feat. It gives you additional damages on all of your bashers and helps patch up the hard hitter moniker Conqueror fails to live up to. It's completely up to you what tier 3 feats you pick. For me personally, I use Pugno Mortis in Dominion and heal on block in Breach. Sadly, Conqueror doesn't really have any decent tier 4 feats. Catapult was nerfed in the Marching Fire update and isn't really reliable, and I've yet to find success with the other two feats. Your perk selection will differ depending on what game mode you're playing. For Breach, I recommend Vengeful Barrier, Rising Dawn and Bastion. If you are playing Dominion, you should drop Rising Dawn and pick Remedy instead. And if you're playing in arcade mode, then I would go Remedy, Vengeful Barrier and Last Stand. Please keep in mind that these are my opinions and my recommendations. I'm not entirely certain if they're optimal, but these are the ones I would pick. In conclusion, Conqueror is a pretty decent hero. The shield bashers are a strong pressure tool, and Conqueror has a very strong zone attack, showing off that strong defense moniker. However, Conqueror is not a hard hitter, and the tier 4 feats aren't good. Something like Warden's Takedown or Stalwart Banner would be better. I hope you found this guide helpful. If I've missed anything, please leave it in the comment section. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and tick the bell icon to receive notifications of new content. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.